There we go. It's another Monday. It's 12:30 and live in Lincoln. And this is the day that I bring people in and we have a good old chat about business. But this week I was let down. Only 4 hours ago, I was told that the guest couldn't come on. What do you do when that happens? I'll tell you what you do. You speak to your friends. You speak to people you know, all right? But every single Monday morning, I have an accountability call with a very special lady. And the first thing I said to her was, what are you doing at lunchtime? And she said, I'm free. What are we doing? Straight away, grab hold of things when you get the opportunity, because that's what it's all about. And so Tracy is going to come on and tell us all about her amazing weekend, what we do as accountability buddies, and loads of other things. So big round of applause for Tracy.
Hi, again, second time today.
Thank you for saving my bacon.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
You are superstar. You say all the right things at the right time. So first of all, Tracy, tell everybody who the heck you are.
So I am a money metrics mentor. I help businesses to know what metrics in their business, numbers they should be tracking, and which ones to leave to their accountant. So I help people get financial independence and time freedom.
Yeah, perfect. And that's what we need as business owners, isn't it? Because I think the thing is, right, when I set up my business, I didn't think about any accounting sort of stuff. And I muddled by, and now I've got an accountant. And I think what we then do is now we've got an accountant, we let them worry about it, and we still carry on doing all the shiny things that we do as business owners. So what you're doing is absolutely incredible. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about accountability and just opportunities, how opportunities arise and stuff like that. So tell everybody what we do every Monday. In fact, we could do it live because we ran out of time this morning. Because
we didn't have time to do it because we were sorting out.
I had to set this up. Yeah, absolutely. So what do we do every Monday?
To tell you what I would be telling you at 8:30 this morning.
Yeah, well, look, we're accountability buddies, aren't we, Tracy? So yes, explain what that is to those people that don't have one.
So for half an hour every Monday, we get together, we talk about the good things that happened in the business last week, the things that didn't work out so well. And then we have 1 or 2 points, not very many, because we know how we're all busy. And we have 1 or 2 points is, what are we going to do this week to move our business forward? And by doing that, we hold each other accountable. So I make a note of what Ashley tells me at the end of the meeting in my diary. And then the next week, that's the first thing I say to him. Have you done this?
You kick my butt, don't you, Tracy?
But it helps because even though we're friends, it's still embarrassing to go, actually, no, I haven't. I'm sorry. And don't get me wrong, life happens sometimes and it really does happen. But actually, you say yes, you've done it. We all do. An accountability buddy, we say yes more times than we say no. And that's the point. Because as a business owner, you know, the best thing is we are our own accountability, but it's the worst thing at the same time because, you know, it's like, oh, I don't have to do that because nobody knows. And that's the worst thing ever to have that. So accountability is a brilliant thing. And it doesn't have to be something you pay for either. If you find somebody who has a like mind like you know, like we're both early risers, we both have the same kind of mindset. So it's brilliant because we help each other, even though we're not in the same industry.
Yeah, no, it's it really is brilliant. And because we're from different industries, we also help each other with some of the little incidentals that we do. So, you know, often get a question about LinkedIn and you often get a question about money. So no, it works perfectly. So yeah, so if I am watching this now or listening on the podcast, what do I need to be looking out for an accountability buddy? Can it just be anybody? Could it be my wife or my husband or my partner?
So I would go outside of your family for sure, because your family are the people who care about you the most, and they probably don't have the same risk averse that you do. So actually, I do talk to Haydad quite a lot about the business things, but actually he doesn't have the same risk averse to me. And so he just wants to protect me. So sometimes it's not good to talk to him because he'll be, not that he'll stop me from doing anything. He'd never do that. But you can tell by his tone that he's concerned that I'm pushing myself out there. Whereas actually as business owners, we understand that's where we need to be, outside of our comfort zone. So no, I wouldn't go to your family. I would find another business owner that's probably at a very similar level to you, maybe. But the biggest thing for me, we can go back to what it was this morning, somebody who's going to turn up for you every week.
Yeah.
Like, you know me, I'm not always in Spain, but every single Monday, if it's possible, I don't care where I am in the world, I'm coming on this call for half an hour because it sets me up for the week. So yeah, it's not very often in the last year that we've actually, I can probably count them on one hand.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's important. It's in my diary. It's in my diary. I need someone to hold me accountable. Hello, Michal. Nice to see you. This isn't the show that was advertised, but I'm sure you're going to get an awful lot of value. And if you've got any questions for Tracy, then please fire away. Okay, so let's go back to first thing this morning then. How was your week, Tracy, last week?
Oh, to do my accountability thing, I had a brilliant week. I had a masterclass on Tuesday where I helped people to find the free cash in their business. And I had some of my members say things to me like, this is fantastic. Tracy, this is awesome. How have I not known this for like the 12 years I've been in business? So that was one of my highlights of last week. Second one is I did a masterclass in the KPI program that I'm in, and they were talking about brochures, and it's really timely for me because of the setting up the Money Metrics Academy 2.0 to open in September. So I got that to work on. And then I went to an event in London called Global Women.
You just said that you're in Spain. So you, yeah, is that right? So you had to fly to London to an event.
I worked Thursday, and then I got in my car and I drove to the airport and I flew to England, and I got into my hotel room at 2:00 in the morning, and I got up at 6:00 to go to an event because it mattered. It was important. So yes. And honestly, I felt God sent me there. And we're talking about, you said in your thing about saying yes to opportunities. And I got invited on this event. I'd never heard of them before. But actually, the things I got out of this weekend are massive. And I came away thinking, God sent me there for a reason. He really did. So yeah, it's been a great weekend with lots of opportunities to say yes to.
Yeah. So, and this is the thing, right? So for me to go to London, all right, it's a bit of a trek, but I could do it in a day. For most people, for most people in the UK, probably in London anyway, so it's a dead easy event. For you, we're looking at flights, we're looking at accommodation and airport parking. That's probably more than the flight, and all those sorts of things. And to get a suitcase on the plane, that's another £1,000 and stuff like that. So it wouldn't have been pocket change to come to this event. So why did you sit there and think, I'm going to take this opportunity and go for it?
Because I saw what was on offer and to learn. So I'm an eternal learner and I love learning. And I feel like my journey is I'm still on a journey since selling the accountancy practice back in September 2024. I've been on a personal journey ever since, trying to find out what I use the term actually that I heard at the weekend, your Amadeus moment. And it's when everything falls into place about who you are and why you do what you do. And I've been doing a lot of that recently. So it was kind of like I wanted to meet more women. So these women, I wasn't the only person that flew in, by the way. So Global Women is what it says it is.
Okay.
People had flown in from America. So people are flying from America, from Stockholm, from there's chapters in Cyprus. So there's chapters all over the world, and I wanted one to be in Spain. So I took the opportunity to go and speak to the lady who has started all this and ask her about that. So it's that's why I went, and I would like the opportunity to speak on that stage next year.
Brilliant. So if somebody presents you with an opportunity, grab it by both hands and make it yours. That's the advice today. Yeah.
Yeah. If it feels like a hell yes, whatever you're feeling, wherever you're busy, whether you're you know, if it feels like a hell yes, this is where I'm meant to be, you just move the mountain to get there, because you just can't say no. Like today, did I have a spare half hour next to come my day to come and talk to you? Not really. I'm really busy. I've just been away for the weekend. But why? If all I was doing was eating my lunch, why would I say no? Give the opportunity to be more visible.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm very grateful for you being here too. So these events, okay. When we go to an event, there's lots and lots of people there.
Yes.
You cannot speak to everybody. There's were there trade stands there as well?
No.
No, there wasn't.
It was more of, it is a learning thing. There was no trade stands there except their own.
Yeah. And so how do you work out who you're going to speak to? And you know, because you're all absolutely the same. You know nobody. You've flown in from all corners of the globe. What it must be pretty intimidating. I get intimidated going to a local one.
Yes.
I went to a cafe in Honiton on Friday, and I didn't know many people, so yeah, I was a little bit intimidated.
I know I'm a confident person, but when it comes, I'm not sociable. So it's really hard. These events really drain my battery because I enjoy my own company. And but what I tend to do is, and I think we've spoke about this before, when I see somebody at a networking event that looks really scared in a corner, sat not knowing what to do, I go and talk to them. And I say, do you mind if I talk to you? And there you can and they go, yes, of course. And I have met brilliant people by doing that. I met somebody like last time I was in London, like last May, I think it was, a lady that had come, that she just happened to be in London, but she lived in, I think it's Sweden. And, you know, when this weekend I met 3 beautiful ladies inside and out. I've made friends over the weekend with 3 people because I was sat next to them. And it's like, I know that they're going to be contacts for life. Well, they're stuck with me whether they like it or not, to be honest.
Brilliant. I love that, and it's just making that first move, and it's exactly what I did on Friday at Honiton. I was chatting to this guy. He was huge, all right. There's low ceilings. He kept banging his head. I'm fine, and I was talking up to him, and there was a lady there sat down all on her own, and I brought her into the conversation.
Yes.
And I started chatting to her, and oh my God, she has done everything. She was incredible. So yeah, I'd have never known. So that's a great bit of advice. I like that, Tracy. Learning. A lot of people come out of college, university, school, whatever, and that's it. I've done all my learning. But you are, is the word voracious? Is the word voracious?
Oh,
I'm not sure, but you read lots of books, you sign up to lots of courses and stuff like that. Why?
I just think that nobody's perfect, and I think, right, I'll tell you what I feel. I feel like those who know, or those who think they know everything, tend to be the people who don't know anything, and those that feel like they don't. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you spit your tea. But those who feel like they don't know a lot are always striving to know better, and those are the people who generally know what they're talking about. That they're always striving for something else. Like on the plane on Thursday, a lady had recommended a book called Happy Money to me about money mindset. Now, that's what I teach. I'm always interested in what other people think. And so I downloaded it, forgot my earbuds. I had to buy another pair in the airport before I got on the plane.
How many times have you done that?
So many. It's like I'm going to have a set of earbuds to go with every outfit before long. And it's only a short book. It's 5 hours. And I listen on 1.75 when I'm listening to anything.
Wow.
And I'd nearly finished it by the time I'd finished. And that for me is my 2.5 hour flight. I was learning. And I just feel that way you can help more people. The more you know, the more you can help.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
No, it's a great tip. Angela's saying she loved your networking tip, I've got so much FOMO, Angela, because I can't go to Global Women's events. And there's a lady locally that does this sequins thing, and all of my lady friends go, and I'm not allowed to go, and it's not fair. So yeah, I get serious FOMO.
You're comfortable as well with like female company as well, aren't you? You like the way we talk, because you have a family at home.
I'm the minority in my family. There's 4 of us, and the rest are girls. When we had a dog, and it was a dog, not a bitch, I was like, yes. But he had to put the toilet seat down too.
That's what I mean. And so I know that you're comfortable in female company. You'd be absolute star at a female only event.
Yeah, but there's a couple of reasons I'm not allowed to go, and we won't go there today. but so yeah, this learning thing is so important, and so many people don't. I talk to people and I say, oh, do you listen to podcasts? And they look at me as if I'm from the moon, and they're sort of like, that is just free content. And you guys listening on the podcast, you get this because you never know who you're going to listen to. And I end up down so many different rabbit holes, learning so many different things by, podcasts. Is there any books or podcasts you can recommend, Tracy?
Well, one of my friends had put a clip on Facebook of the Richard Osman thing with, I think it was the Stephen Bartlett one he did, and she put it on. It's a really short clip, and I wrote underneath saying, you watch the entire of this podcast because it's actually genius. Like Richard Osman, we see him as a presenter of a TV program, but actually his story is amazing. Like, he's a business owner, he's a businessman, and he didn't really want to be on TV. He creates TV programs. That's what he does. And I said, please go and watch it. Anyway, about 3 or 4 days later, she was like, you've sent me down such a rabbit hole. She said, I watched everything with Richard Osman in it. And that's the joy of podcasts. You get to know somebody, which again is why I'm here, because you get to know somebody personally, not just this is what I do and this is how I can help you. You get to understand the personality under it. So yeah, I like Stephen Bartlett. So like anything with like Daniel Priestley on it. The High Performance podcast is absolutely phenomenal. And I found that because I'm a massive Fernando Alonso fan, and he did one of them. And then from that, it went to business, and then, watch them all. So, but all sorts. Watch the little ones. Watch the ones who don't have that many watchers, because actually they're still talking to really relevant people, and you might just find either inspiration or something that you want to learn. So don't just watch the big ones, watch the little ones too, because I think you'll find a lot of value from them.
Yeah, and this is what I find as well. And sounds as if you use my app, because I listen to all of those as well. And then once you start subscribing, it's sort of like then the algorithm sort of like suggests others. But then you've got all the other episodes that you've spoken to, and yeah, it's a great way to learn. And then like you say, takes you down rabbit holes and stuff like that. You said something about KPI. Can you explain a little bit about that, because that is serious learning?
Yeah, so Daniel Priestley does it's a membership effectively, where he helps you become a key person of influence. So I've been trying to do this on my own. We're both fans of Daniel, aren't we? And we've both read his book, and I met him 10 years ago. I've been a fan of Daniel Priestley for 10 years, but I've been trying to do the key person of influence on my own, and my pitch wasn't right. I was all right with the publishing. I'd published the book. It's been out 2 years. I get tomorrow, by the way, the book.
Wow.
So I published the book and everything. I just wasn't getting my pitch right and my partnerships. So I felt it was time. And I've been on the KPI program since January. I have learned so much about myself, so much about like industry. Like there's people from all over the world in there, and yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. So I've got to know quite a lot of great people too.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is when you start learning deep and becoming a member, you're mixing with the right type of people, aren't you? Mixing with your people.
Yes.
And that's the key thing. And so you run a membership as well, don't you?
I do. So I help people. The sweet spot for me, I'm finding, because it's quite new, so we've only been open since April, but I've had a lot of feedback and a lot of like testing and stuff. And the sweet spot is people who are in their late 5-figure businesses, 80, 90,000, up until about 160, 175,000, People who get management reports, but then they don't do anything with them. And I help them to understand which part of those management reports to pick out to actually grow their business so they can stop being the bottleneck of their own business. Because generally, because there's money in the bank, they think they're okay, but they're just not growing. And that's kind of, if I could try and give you the like target market, that's probably who it is.
Perfect. And so you're like giving back, because you ran an accountancy practice for forever. Tell us a little bit about your story, how you got to doing that, running a successful business and then selling it and now doing what you're doing. Surely you could just be laying in the sun and watching Formula One.
I get so bored. I sold the accountancy practice in September to semi-retire and just do FD work. And then I realised that it wasn't where my passion was. I do love helping these bigger businesses, by the way. But what I realised, there is a massive area of like sector of business owners that need my expertise, but couldn't afford my one-to-one like services. So that's when I did the soul digging. And like what I found is, so my childhood wasn't brilliant. I used to watch my mum skip meals so that me and my brother could eat. And I didn't realize at the time that that pain was actually fueling my purpose. So I had a paper round at the age of 12. I remember vividly how heavy those bags were on a Sunday morning. That has never gone. And then I became a single parent at 19. I still worked. The thought of relying on somebody else financially has never sat right with me. And it didn't happen overnight. But once I created my own financial independence, I was like, wow, I want everyone to feel like this. I want everyone to know what it's like to stand on your own 2 feet financially and not worry about where your income's going to come from tomorrow or where you're going to eat. You know, like it wasn't it's kind of like still raw. And that's what I wanted to help. And the only way I could do that was create a one-to-many, because that was the only way that people I really, really wanted to help would be able to afford for me to help them. So that's where the Money Metrics Academy came from, out of digging deep and finding my actual purpose.
No, I love that. And because you've got a strong why, you're really passionate about it, and people in the membership are sort of like getting all that passion and help and advice and stuff like that. Craig, you need to know that we start at 12:30, mate. But hey, it's really, really good to see you, and thanks for coming in. We've got a few minutes left.
We need to do your accountability for last week.
Shall I say that again?
Said we need to do your accountability.
I was hoping you'd skip that.
No, you need to tell me what we talked about last week, and then you need to tell me what your one thing is that you're going to do this week, please.
Okay. Oh, this is real. This is so real. Okay. So last week, I was telling you about my CRM, wasn't I?
Yes.
And how I've ditched it and gone with a simple spreadsheet, because I had bells, whistles, all kinds of amazing things which I was not using, and I'm paying for it. And it's sort of like, what am I wasting all this money for? So I've got this really, really simple CRM now. It's just a spreadsheet, but I've got ChatGPT to help me do a couple of things. So when I've got a line in there, I can book an appointment, basically. So I put someone's name in. All right. So someone I'm talking to, and I only need a handful of clients a month. I put their name in, and I'll put a little note saying I need to phone them next Thursday. I press a button in the spreadsheet. It automatically books a calendar entry for me on that day. So then when I come in the morning, it comes up, and I've got a 9 o'clock, and it says I got to phone Tracy. Like, and that's all I need. I don't need bells and whistles that can go off and do all kinds of things. I just need someone to say, Ash, have you phoned Tracy today? That's what I'm doing. So I've set all that up. So I'm pleased with that. I had a couple of great networking events last week, one of which they turned around to me and said, could you play your guitar? So we did this river trip. Last Wednesday evening, we went up the River Exe, 40 business owners from around Exmouth, East Devon, on this boat. And I played my guitar, and we had an absolutely amazing time. It was lovely. So yeah, that was good. And a new networking event in Honiton. And this week I'm pushing more on my on the leads that I've been to lots of different events, and I've been so busy I haven't been able to catch up with them. I've already phoned a few this morning, and fingers crossed they'll come back. And
so how many do you want to do by the time we speak next Monday?
The whole pile.
That's way too many.
No, it's about 20.
20. Okay,
it's about 20. But here's the thing, Tracy.
Everyone else needs to check up on him, by the way. Make sure he's done his follow-up by Friday.
So what I've done here, I found right. I got up here. I've got a little thing with the calendar hooked on it, and I found one of these. All right. So
that takes me back.
So this is a bulldog clip. If you're listening, and I clipped the one that I've spoken to. These are the ones I've spoken to. I put it up there. I've put a note. I put a note in my spreadsheet, and So Monday, you won't need to kick my butt.
Do you want to know what my one thing is for this week?
Yes, please.
So because 1, 2, 3 is 2 tomorrow, I'm going to give the book away for the entire of July, and people just need to pay postage and packaging. So I need that website up and ready by tomorrow. Not even this week. It's
wow.
I only had the idea over the weekend, so that's my one thing for today. Effectively, is have the website up so people can get a free copy of 1, 2, 3. Just have to pay the postage.
That's a genius idea. That is a genius idea. I love that idea. So maybe I could do that. I can nick that off you when my book's 3 years old in November.
Awesome.
Yeah, brilliant. So, but yeah, by then I hopefully have got book number 2 out, but that's something else. And this is the trouble, isn't it? Right, when you're running a business, I've got this lovely idea, and off you go. And by having you every Monday, it stops me doing all of that.
That was one of the things I picked up from Richard Osman, by the way. So I watched him at an event a few years ago in Birmingham, and he says, because I have so many ideas, they just don't stop. And he said he sleeps on things for 3 nights all the time. And he said, I never speak about anything to anybody else because sometimes you go to bed on it, you wake up and you think, that's still a good idea. You can go to bed the second time, wake up and you think, it's gone now. But if you wake up 3 times and thinking that's still a good idea, that's the time you start discussing it with somebody, because quite often your ideas aren't as great as what you first think they are. And for anybody who has lots of ideas, like I've got a very busy brain, they should see all the notes that I brought back from Global Women. That's all I spent. So my time home on the plane was spent literally writing all my notes down onto the note thing on my phone, and then I emailed it to myself, so it was at my computer this morning because there was lots.
Brilliant. Oh, Tracy, it's always wonderful catching up with you. That 30 minutes has absolutely flown by. If anyone wants to get hold of you, how do we get hold of you?
My website is tracyirwin.co.uk. Irwin is spelled IRWIN, as in like Steve Irwin, and Tracy has no E. So just on the website, everything's there. Mostly on LinkedIn if anyone's into social media.
Awesome.
Funny that, isn't it? On LinkedIn.
I know. Right, next week I have got Gihan Haride Ardonovsky. She just likes to be known as G. She is an absolute scream. She's a LinkedIn specialist as well. She's all about branding, but she's all about standing out there and doing stuff. So we are going to have a real laugh next week. She's in Texas, so she's got a very early start. But we've been having some chats before the show for next week. So it's going to be a goodie. Not sure it's going to be as good as what today was. But Tracy, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everybody who's been messaging us. And we will see you next week. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching or listening to my show this week. I want to bring to you people that can help us running our business. I love having a chat. I'm very nosy, very curious, and I'd love to ask questions. So if you want to be a guest, or if you've got some ideas for guests, let me know. And if you want me to help you with your LinkedIn, get in touch, because I want to give you a voice. Now, that could just be using LinkedIn, but I do other things as well. So I can help you with a podcast, a live show, and all kinds of other amazing things. So get in touch. My name is Ashley Leeds. I'm the 15-minute guy, and you can find me on LinkedIn.